Well, good afternoon, people. It's rapidly approaching 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Sunday the 2nd of August 2020. We've got about 4 minutes to go. We've got a wee bit of catching up to do. This is another one lost side match, and it's going to be between what's his name, Mooncake, and SemiPro, and both players are in. They've been practicing. Mooncake listed as from the Netherlands, SemiPro from England, and it's a race to 3. Good afternoon, welcome. I say we've got a bit of catching up to do, and the good news for me is that Steve Chaplin, who is Mr. Virtual Pool 4, the man who designed the game, he's been trying to test the internal browser, and he's given me a version with the internal browser. It doesn't work properly. There's a couple of things wrong. Whenever you shut the game down, there's an error message, and you can't use the little shortcut to go into a room, but that's by the by. At least I've got the internal browser, and we'll have a quick look at what's happened now. Obviously matches have taken place while I wasn't here or in bed, and if we look at the winner's side, the important results have come through from the winner's side. Moz has beaten Stubb by 5 frames to 1, and unfortunately that match was not streamed by Moz's mates, so I went to his Twitch channel. There's nothing on it. The last thing that was streamed was a previous match 10 days ago, so unfortunately I can't watch it. But obviously Stubb finding it tough now as it gets to the business end of the tournament, and he's going to have to find it even tougher on the one loss side. We'll see how that pans out in a second or two. And the other unfortunate thing is the favourite for the tournament, it has to be said, Barker's, has beaten Barry C, and there's a forfeit there which I don't like, and that always tells me somebody doesn't have the stomach for the fight, unless something happened and he had to quit. But I think it's the former one. I think he was getting pummeled and he quit, and I've got no respect for anybody who quits, absolutely none whatsoever. And that's all I'll say about that. Stubb is now lying in wait on the one loss side, and he's actually going to play the winner of the match that we're going to watch this afternoon between SemiPro and Mooncake. And the other unfortunate thing to cover is this match up here. This is another match scheduled for today. It's scheduled for 8 o'clock tonight, between Bedhead and Super Malt. Bedhead will be the strong favourite for that, I've got no doubt about that. We've seen how well Bedhead can adapt to these games, and the more he plays the game, snooker that is, the more confident he'll become. So he will become a danger in this one loss side to whoever meets him, and unfortunately for Super Malt, he's going to be meeting him. That's 8 o'clock tonight, and I will see the first half an hour of it. I certainly won't be streaming it, and then after half an hour I'm off to bed, and the winner of that match will probably get a walkover against Barry C. If he doesn't get a good start in the match, I think he'll probably quit again. So I'm glad I didn't stream that match anyway. So this is a match we're waiting on, SemiPro and Mooncake, and I have never seen Mooncake playing snooker, so I do not know what he's like, but we're going to find out. And well, the tournament is effectively the business end. Barker's is sitting there waiting to arrange his match with Moz, and they've got up until August the 12th, so that's 10 days for them to arrange that match. The good thing is it's well, with Moz being in England and Barker's being in England as well, as far as I know, then hopefully I should be able to get it. Oh, good afternoon, Bedhead. Right, so yeah, this is the internal browser. It needs working on to get it fixed properly. I might get another version to test probably once he's looked at the problems that there is with it. which is a very good reason why the internal browser isn't being used at present. So, oh right, Napnicker recorded it, did he? Well, I'll watch that later on. Right, the room is up. I've been busy talking away, and well, what the hell's happened here? What the hell has happened in this first frame? Yeah, I'm good to go. Oh, they haven't started yet, have they? No, they haven't. That's what it is. I was panicking there. I was thinking that somebody'd smashed their heads open. I never looked at the names in the HUD. I just thought, what the hell has happened here? Who has done this? Right now, why is I mean, again, I'm getting confused again. Why is SemiPro not in the match on my screen? I'm going to have to leave and come back in. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I think there's a problem here again. This is a bit weird. I mean, when a tournament room goes up and the two players go into the room should automatically start. And if you look, I'm watching Mooncake playing Mooncake right now. And he's just... This is well out of sync. Well out of sync here. I've got problems. Right, hang on a minute, guys. Just bear with me. Right, now... Yeah, that's better. That's better. We're off and running out. Now I've got a quick question for you guys. I've got this camera set to the default of 40. I normally stream with it at 30 so that we get a closer look at the table. It's on 40 at the moment, so if I go into settings and camera and go down to 30, do you prefer that? I think I prefer this, the 30. We'll keep it at this for the time being. So anyway, Mooncake on a break of 24. This is, by the way, the problems I've got there is actually with this internal browser version that I'm using. When I shut VP4 down, that error message was already on the screen before I shut it. So it's a bit dodgy, to say the least. And that's twice the same thing has happened, where I've gone into the room when the tournament room's gone up and I don't see the two players playing. Anyway, Mooncake's missed the green. The reds are all over the place here. and SemiPro has a chance to respond, but Mooncake may well be kicking himself here, because had he got onto that red, that or had he potted the green and finished on that red that SemiPro's just potted, well, he could have had another bar load of points here, but they're all going to go to SemiPro. Well, Stubb lost 5-1. I never seen it. I don't know when they played. I presume it was late last night at some point. Have you ever fought a midget at arm's length? Well, surprisingly, no, I haven't. Are we talking about Stubb versus Moz? Well, SemiPro had problems with his high-spec gaming laptop, and those problems have all been resolved. So as I said to him, he has got no excuse now. He should all be good to go. He says everything's running nice. Well, little drawback here. He needs to get this right though. He doesn't want to run into those two reds that are just to the right of the cushion there. Well, I don't know what he's tried there, but that's certainly not where I would have been playing. That is way too much juice on that one. It was a little soft draw for one of those two reds below the pink there. The only danger, as I say, was those two reds on the right hand side. He could have ended up locked onto one, but that wasn't what I was thinking. But he's potted the red. Break goes to 21. Now again, it should be just a stun. Stun the black in and get the cue ball back up to the right of the pink. That's a shot. Just a wee bit too heavy again. He might have overcooked it. But he's still on the other red and the right as a backup. Well, I didn't want to ask any more detail on that one. I just thought I'd let it lie. And now he's finally on one of those two reds, because that then will free the other two reds on the left hand side of the pink into the opposite corner pocket or the middle pocket on the left hand side. So it's shaping up quite nice here. Break goes to 37. Well, that's what I thought as well, that Stubb was a midget. If he plays the pink, he's going to stun into one of those reds, or if he can just run through. But the problem is he's going to be awkward to get on a red good. Still, the stun shot and the black's the one to play. Big area to get the cue ball in, but he needs a bit more juice than that. He's left it short. So break at 44. Now what am I doing here commentating on this? I'm missing the F1, which Hamilton should walk. I think he was a second faster than any of the two. Well, there's, what was it? Hamilton and his teammate were top of the grid, and they were about a second faster than the next nearest cars, which is ridiculous at Silverstone. So I'm missing that. I'm missing the snooker and the telly at the moment. And this needs to keep running, because that red at the back does go. It's tight, but it will go. Needs to get it sweet. And just gently drop it in and off the rail for the black. So the lead is 20 points, so this is crucial, this red. And in it goes. And now he's got a perfect angle just to come off the cushion up to the right hand side. That's the shot I would play. That gets that red below the pink. So this is a good contribution by SemiPro, and it's a frame winning opportunity now. All the colours on their spots, looking to clear the table. And that's what happens when you miss that green. Mooncake, with the reds sitting the way they are, it was always going to be if SemiPro could just get himself in shape, which he eventually done, and inflict the ultimate penalty and punishment. Was Stubb trying too hard, or was he wasn't playing sensible? I told him to. I gave him all the advice I could. Well, he's perfect on the yellow. Don't know what the angle's like, but he could stun off the side cushioning out for the green. Well, he hasn't got into it enough. Now you're just going to have to play this with a bit of left hand side just to check the cue ball. Stop it escaping too far up the table and hold for the brown. Yeah, that's why he's missed the green, but it's an excellent contribution from SemiPro. Break of 75, and that secures the first frame. And we've been barely going 13 minutes. Oh, Mooncake's decided the stub breaks for him. So SemiPro meaning business. Mooncake knows he needs to keep it tight, but more importantly, when he has a chance like he had, and on that break of whatever it was, 24-25, to miss a green into the middle pocket with the reds the way they are, he now is fully aware of the consequences of missing when the reds are well on. Well, that now means that the safety zone is going to be just behind the black for Mooncake. No way back to balk. Red out in the open on the right hand side. Now this is where, when you're playing these sort of safety shots, you need to keep studying the pack of balls. Well, that depends on who sets the rules of the tournament. I made sure that when I run the Virtual World Snooker Championship, that was the main rule. You had to make a conventional break, none of this pussy break. A proper break. And I never had any problem with any players. I mean, it didn't matter if you played a thin break on the one side and then went up the table, but none of this running into the back of the pack. Carry on. Well, he's brushed off the red. He's got the black now. SemiPro has an angle on the black. Oh, he's on a red. What am I talking about? I'm getting ahead of myself again. I need to keep remembering to look at the HUD. That way I know exactly what's happening. But that's not a bad safety. Blocked off the left hand side of the table. Now again, Mooncake should be down here looking at this pack of balls, because that red in that line, that little curve of 4, is coming over to this side. When he plays off that red, good afternoon Keith, tell me what's happening in the F1. I presume Hamilton's away in front already, because I've got nothing on here. I don't want anything running while I'm streaming. Oh, he's looking to come off the 2 cushions. Now, does that red cut past the black? It's close and tight. No, it doesn't. Well, I'm glad I wasn't online when that Barry C quit against Barker's. I'm glad I wasn't online. I would have told him what I thought of him. And I'm glad I wasn't streaming it either. But I noticed that Napnicker recorded it. So, well worth showing it to humiliate him. Well, Mooncake has potted a red, but he's immediately put himself under pressure here. And he's going to have to pull out a pot here, or he's going to have to get this cue ball behind the green to cover that red over the corner pocket. And he's missed a yellow. Well, the red is blocked into the corner by the other red up the table, but there's a red in the top half, and this could be more punishment. Well, according to Napnicker, if you look at the link in there's a link in the lobby that Napnicker posted, and he typed rage quit. So hopefully the lobby chat will still be there when I hang on a minute, when I finish this stream. Let's have a look. We've got the chat. I'm sure Napnicker posted it. Oh no, it's all gone. No, I forgot. I had to restart the bloody game. Well, I've lost that, but I'll go to Napnicker's channel in YouTube, and I'll be able to see what happened. Well, Mooncake is back in, and he really has to capitalise. He needs to show something that, well, that's not going to go in, is it? Oh, in off the jaws. But he's going to have to show something here. But these reds are not perfect. They're all sitting awkward. Yeah, he'll never rage quit. Well, I mean, I'm talking about stuff that's happened 15 years ago now, but ask Stubb what happened when he played me at snooker. And I've never played him since, and I said that day I would never ever play him again at snooker. He rage quitting me. I can't remember, I was either on, I certainly had a century in the first frame, and I can't remember whether it was the second or third frame, but anyway, he disappeared on me, and I told him in the chat, I says, well, that's the last time you'll ever play me at snooker, because as I say, I've got absolutely no respect for anybody who quits especially when you've paid your money to play in the bloody tournament. Oh, albeit virtual dollars, but you've paid your money, you've entered the tournament, you've made that decision, and then just because you're losing, you decide that's it. I've not got the time. I mean, back in the day in VP3, I was playing VP3 every day. Snooker every day, that's another bad miss. And now the blacks, well, tied up more or less on one side of the table. It will pot from the left hand side, but it's still awkward here to get any points. But Mooncake's got a 17-point lead, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last. Oh, back in the day, I used to grind players at the old snooker in VP3. I had Matt Magic quit on me in a Sunday night snooker tournament, because I was keeping it tight, and he was expecting me to go for things and leave things open for him, and that wasn't the type of game I played. Matt Magic quit on me in a snooker final on Sunday. Oh dear, I had to laugh. Matt Magic's one of those players. He's a good snooker player, but he didn't have the temperament for it, I can assure you. Easy to get inside his head. He preferred you going for shots and making stupid mistakes, and he would just come in and hoover up all the balls that were lying there and win the frame. He didn't get that when he played me. I don't even remember that, by the way. I don't remember it. But I remember the day that I was on a 147. I'll never forget that. I had 15 reds, 15 blacks, potted the yellow, and then snookered myself in the bloody green. And I'll tell you, I was not a happy chappy that day. First time I'd ever done that. 15 reds, 15 blacks. And it was one of those frames where it just goes, every shot that you played was a shot that you played, if you know what I mean. Everything went into line, got the right angle, and then bloody snookered. In fact, to be honest with you, I bottled it. Yeah, I choked on it. I mean, you'd loads of room to get onto the bloody yellow, the green, and then snookered myself. Oh, yeah. But I've seen two 147s in Virtual Pool 3. I was there. I saw Glenn getting his 147. Just a pity I was never streaming back in the day. It would have been crap anyway, because the quality of the streaming back then was poor. Not so much the streaming, the recording, because I don't even think there was any streaming done back then. It was just recording and then uploading it to YouTube. But it was that Fraps thing, and I never liked that Fraps. I thought it was crap. But now you've got great streaming software now. This XSplit's excellent. You've got Marillus Action, which is excellent. I've tried them all. I've got them all, by the way. And the other one that I saw was what's his name now? Polo. Not Polament, Polo, who used to turn up for Virtual World Championships, and he turned up that year and got a 147. So there's not many folks say that they've seen two 147s in a virtual snooker game. Well, SemiPro is in now, and it's only another contribution of one from Mooncake. Red over the corner pocket. He can play the nearest red onto it and make sure in fact what he wants to do is get rid of that blue. Although it's not blocking the pocket, it's just a bit of a hindrance where it is. Well, he's run away up the table. And he's still got that red adjacent to the pocket. Well, I don't think that was in. I don't think that wasn't in a tournament. That 147 that Glenn got, but I remember the black that he potted. Do you remember the black he had to pot to get the 147? The cue ball was just to the right of the pink spot. As you look down to the black end of the table, the cue ball finished almost on the pink spot. The black was on its spot, and the cue ball was just to the right of what effectively was the pink spot, and he had to cut that black to get the 147, and he got it. Nigh on impossible cut, and he managed to get it. Well, it's an untidy start here for SemiPro, but the way the colours are sitting, they're not great, so he's taking his medicine. It's only 6, but he's now got Mooncake slam bang behind that yellow, and he'll be lucky to leave this safe. Reds are all wide open. Well, I think it'd be worthwhile trying to get to this red on the back cushion here, down at the very bottom of the screen, if we can find a line to get there, but that's certainly the one to try and play for. Well, he'll be having another go at that. Now I'm looking to see whether there's a line to get there. Well, he's left a red for starters, but once again, even though this red isn't that difficult, the difficulty is getting a colour, and that's the problem. He'll just have to leave the long green. I don't think there's any point in trying to do anything down this end here. Is he going to try and come over for the yellow? The blue. No, I was on Discord a few days ago, but that was talking to SemiPro when he had his problems with his computer. But I only saw his video on there. I never saw any. When did you post the picture? And was that in that VP4 lobby? Aye, well, no, I haven't been on there, no. Well, SemiPro all square now, 21 points all. And this frame is there for the taking. Now the only lifeline at the moment is that yellow, which is on the left hand side. And the other problem is, remember what I said earlier in the frame, that blue ball that's on the left hand side there, it'd have been better to get rid of that. And SemiPro has overcut the black. Now here is a chance from 2005. That is bloody 15 years ago. Well, now Mooncake, well, the reason I said about this blue is look at that red on the left hand side. The one on the left hand side, this pocket's now blocked for that red, and now the black's in the way, and Mooncake hasn't got himself out far enough, so he's got nothing to do but run for cover here. And that was not a very good shot, I'm afraid. He's thinking about the red he's just played, but he's forgotten about the red to the left of the pink, and he's given SemiPro another start. Now Mooncake's still got a lead, but SemiPro has suddenly lost all track of the line to pot that red. That was way off. So he's overcut a black in his last visit, and he's way out of line in that red, and Mooncake's not going to get a better chance here to try and capitalising this. Even though that red's awkward on the left hand side, he can punch it around the table and put SemiPro in trouble here. Now that's what he should be thinking. I mean, he can get his points, but he can punch the red around the table. He's not going to get on the red, and that's not where I would have played it from. He wanted to get that cue ball somewhere like here. See, it's not a very good safety. He wanted to get the cue ball here, get my line working better, and then he could punch the red around the table and leave the cue ball right in there. This is why I keep saying you've got to plan ahead, and if you've got a snooker brain, then that's the sort of shot you'd have played. Easy snooker. And Mooncake sort of lost an opportunity. He's missed a chance there to put SemiPro in trouble, and he might regret it, and sooner or later this red is going to be well into play, and that effectively is going to be the frame decider. Now, did that go in? No, it hasn't. You know what else is wrong? I think since I reinstalled this version of EP4, the HUD has went back to default. Hang on a minute. Where the hell is it? Game font, chat font. Let's see if that makes any difference. Aye, that's a bit better. I think that's usually the way I have it, like -1 or something like that. Well, Mooncake gets the 8 points, and the brown's on the black spot, the black's on the pink spot, and that looks a good safety. I like the pace in this yellow. Oh, that's unlucky, but he could be in trouble himself here. Now, if that yellow had just missed the brown, he would have had SemiPro, but that's another poor one from SemiPro. So SemiPro's just played a few loose shots here in the last few minutes, and it's given Mooncake a chance. That's a good shot and a chance to clinch the frame. 20-point lead, and the green will leave SemiPro needing a snooker, and the brown will secure the frame. So SemiPro's just taking his eye off the ball in the last few minutes. He might have the F1 on at the same time. He's maybe a bit distracted, but it's going to cost him a frame, and that might be just enough to give Mooncake a wee bit more encouragement. Well, the pink and black are in a good place to try and get a snooker, but he's going to need more than one. 27 points the difference, 18 in the table. The double kiss has ruined that attempt, and now Mooncake should just roll this blue dead weight to the pocket and give it every chance of going in. He certainly doesn't want to have a slam at it, because then he could leave maybe an easy opportunity for SemiPro to play a snooker, but that definitely will make sure of that. So, welcome to any latecomers. This is the Virtual Pool 4. Oh, you did stay moderators. That's good. I didn't know whether it would still work, but that's good. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, this is a one-loss side. Race to 3. We're at 1 frame all. And good afternoon. Now who's that? What does that say? My what? Or MV? That's another name I don't recognise. I hope it's no somebody that's going to spam crap into the chat. Certainly our good friend Ahmed hasn't returned. Well, Mooncake's in straight away here. He's going to have to dig out a long red here. Now if he goes forward and around the corner, he could get himself on the black. I don't know how much the angle is. Let's have a look. Yep, he can help this in. Well, that's all over the place. That was a sort of half-hearted attempt. That red. I don't know what he was thinking there, but he needed to play that with a bit of right hand side to check off the cushion, bring the cue ball back up the table for the black, but he missed it by the country mile. And again, having just got himself back into the match, tying it all up, he's sort of giving it away again. And that black's going to spot. And the question is whether that red that's near the black spot is going to be hampering the black. Well, it's not. It's open into the other corner pocket. SemiPro getting into the reds, opening them up a bit more. Well, he's hampered over that red for the one into the right middle. Let's have a look at what he's got here. Well, a little stun. Yeah, he tried to stun onto that red there to hold the pink, and that's gone out of line, and it's left Mooncake a chance to pot this red. You pot the red in there, the cue ball goes there and out for the black. That's the shot. You maybe just need to help it behind that red and black. But again, it wasn't a very well played shot. It was far too hard for a start, and he's going to sell himself in this frame, Mooncake, if he doesn't get himself in shape quick here, because he's played two poor shots. He's seen the game differently from the way I'm seeing it. There's no way he should have played that anywhere near as hard as that, because he was on the black. I mean, the natural angle was more or less there to come around behind the red and black and leave that black into the right hand corner. So it's all a question of what SemiPro can make of this opportunity. Well, as I say, I've not seen Mooncake before, but he's played two or three shots there that are, you know, not the right shots. I mean, whatever his idea, whatever he's thinking is, I don't know, but it's not the conventional way just to go on that black there. And that attempted red he had as well was so offline. No, Semi doesn't have any issues, everything's fixed. But he sort of lost the plot at the end of that second frame there. I don't know what he was doing, but he was getting dragged down to Mooncake's level. But if it goes scrappy like that, that's the sort of best chance Mooncake's going to get of pinching a frame, and that's what's happened in that second frame. SemiPro with what was it, a 75 break, 75 clearance, pretty much, and that opening frame. Break now goes to 24. Oh dear. Well, he's way offline again there on that red. A simple enough red, but he may well have been playing that with a bit of what was it, right hand side to check the cue ball, which sent the red offline. You see, once again, Mooncake's ran into the pink. He's got lucky and left it on. Now, is he actually looking at the reds here to see what one he's actually playing for? Because that's, you know, when you're playing snooker, you've got to have a plan in mind. So he's going to roll the red down the right hand side. Now, assuming he's going to play in the black, and you look at what's available this side, well, he can only go forward. I don't think he's going to get much coming back the way, but if he goes forward, there's a gap to get into, and the gap is there for that red. He needs to go far enough. Well, he's got, is the other one going to get past it? I think it will. Yes, it does. So he's got there. And now it should be up for the, well, he's taking the chance here and he's landed on the black. Needs to run again. That will do it. And just to 3 points behind, but he definitely needs to capitalise here, and there's a good chance if we look at those reds there. Well, see, nothing goes there. That one in the middle will, that will definitely go if you can get on it. And then that opens up the other red, and then when that goes, it opens up the other two. So Mooncake should be thinking that's it away. You know, if he's a snooker player, that's the way you think. You look at the way these balls are set. There's nothing you need to do other than get on the important one first. And that's way out of line. Well, he's going to have a roll in on this black for the 7 points, but he's not going to get much more. Now, if he runs across forward on the black, he's going to leave nothing on other than a thin red down the cushion. So this is more or less just for the 7 points. I don't think he's, I mean, if he wants to try and kill the cue ball, he's got the reds into the right hand middle there as we look. Well, he's missed the black, but as I say, no harm done. Now, of course, Mooncake can't go anywhere down that right hand side of the table because SemiPro just rolled the red in. And well, it's a chance for SemiPro to get that red into play and get the cue ball down towards the black. There's nothing on here. I mean, that red there is a bit tight to go into the middle, but I think it will go. But I certainly know what I'd be doing. I'd be heading down into that far corner without hitting the blue. So it's another mistake by SemiPro. Now let's see if Mooncake can get round onto the pink or back up the table. Well, that is another not a great shot. He's on the pink and he's going to have to draw back off it, and if he does, he should be on that red. He needs to get into the cue ball here, but no confidence in that shot whatsoever. You've got to play the right shot, and when the right shot was to draw off the pink and leave that red into the left hand corner. There's not a great deal of confidence on display here from Mooncake, but he's getting all the help he needs from SemiPro. It's another miss in the red. Where's the cue ball going? Well, he's got lucky. Yellow's the covering ball, and there's a shot to nothing here for Mooncake, and he's got to go for it. That top red will cut into the bottom right. Now how's the length in the cue ball? He needs to find somewhere behind the bulk colours, but he's left to cut into the left middle, and the reds are now wide open, and this is going to be the chance for SemiPro to clinch the frame if he can get on a colour, because he's got a bit of travelling to do. And how's his luck? Well, he'll take that. He's on the yellow, but the red doesn't go past the green. It's blocked off by the pink, and it'll only go into that other middle pocket in the left hand side. And SemiPro would want another go at that one, because he's in no man's land here. Well, it's a toughie, a thin cut. He's overcooked it again, but he's overcut these by a big margin. And, well, this is not an easy red. The thing is, if Mooncake tries to draw back into bulk, the red is going to come back up the table again. Now how's it going this time? Well, he's got SemiPro in a lot of trouble, and that is maybe a wee bit of good fortune. Let's have a look at what he's got. Well, he might have to bend it round the pink and try and pot the red, but you can't hit this. This will really, yeah, it'll really start to react, that cue ball. And that was the best he could do, is just get it away from the pocket, hoping to knock it in. But Mooncake has another chance, and he's got a 10-point lead, and all the colours at the opposite end of the table. But again, a nervy shot in the red. He's got, I think there's a bit of problem here with taking your time as well. I think he's not getting him set up properly. He needs to slow it down a bit. And this time, SemiPro has got the red. He can put Mooncake in a lot of trouble behind the pink. Now, when this black spots, that might, I don't know, where's the spot? Let's have a look. No, it's okay. Well, SemiPro can't find his way back to the reds, and he had an easy chance to put Mooncake in trouble there behind the pink. Well, this red is a very thin cut, but it is the path back to safety with the cue ball. That's the main objective here. But in goes the red. Now he needs a bit of luck. Well, if it slowed up, he would have had a shot in the pink. Well, I know what he should be doing now. The question is whether he will or he won't, but he should be rolling behind the pink and brown, or tying it up behind the pink. And that will do. And SemiPro will get another go at that. I don't know whether the middle pocket's in the way, but you can still compensate that with a bit of side, and this time he's got the hit. Now where's the cue ball going? And that's ended up not too bad. Well, that's going to bank across to the other pocket if he hits it hard. He's trying to pinch it to make the pot and angle. He'll be happy with that. That's ended up very nicely indeed. Blue and brown are very awkward, and there's only 1 point in it. So this is anybody's frame. Semi-pro with the old hit and hope, and it's a chance for Mooncake, but he needs to slow down and set himself, and that is way offline again. But I mean, when these guys are missing, they're missing by big margins here. Well, the pink into the middle, and he'll drop behind the yellow. He looks to have the angle to do that. He doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball. He might want to run through and come out, but he can run behind the yellow off this pink. Well, he's gone square. Well, maybe the angle wasn't that great. So 6 points the lead for Semi-Pro, but this blue and brown is the problem. And another opportunity awaits Mooncake. Now again, with the blue where it is, Mooncake may well have the opportunity to put Semi-Pro in trouble if he can get this yellow and green, but no, he can't. Well, that was a weird one. I need to reset that camera because that's all went weird since I reinstalled this version. Well, Semi-Pro, a good pot in the yellow. How's he going to get in the brown? It's all about dropping behind it, all about the pace. Well, is he going? Can he actually hit that? Well, he's played the right shot. Now it's a big target, that brown. Probably the problem is making the angle off the right hand side. He'd have to bend it. Oh, he nearly potted it. Well, it's going to take a good pot in the brown, 11 points the lead. This to take him to 15, so brown and blue to clinch the frame. And this isn't an easy blue. Doesn't need to play for the pink, just focus on the blue. And that will do. And so Semi-Pro, in what's been a messy frame, it could have been anybody's, but Mooncake wasn't up to the job. He had enough chances to secure the frame. 20 points the difference, only 13 in the table. Well, it might be worth having a go off this pink. You've just got to get really lucky. But you certainly got a chance to get the cue ball down the bottom of the table here. But when you've only got the pink and black to work with, you've got a slim chance of getting a snooker. Now if that had been higher up the side rail there, he would have had a better line into the black. So frame over. SemiPro with a 2 frames to 1 lead in this short race to 3. And Mooncake back with a stub break, I would think. Well, a wee bit heavier, and a dead straight red into the middle and a black to follow. And SemiPro, is he going to go and try and get into the reds? Not a lot available as it is at the moment. Well, he's on 1, and 1 is all you need. And those 2 reds that we're looking at there, he should be able to get on 1 of them without doing too much. Well, I don't know whether he tried to get into them there, but he's got 1 across the table into the middle. I don't think that's where he played for. And this is a wee bit of a testy cut, this red on the left hand side that he's looking at. Was that match started? Is that the one that started at 2:30? What's the score? It'll be what, about 3-0 by now. That's about an hour. Or 2-0. Well, that the thing is though, Tep Chayun Nu can rattle off frames as fast as Ronnie O'Sullivan, so anything can happen. Well, a chance for the 147. 3 reds, 3 blacks. Can he get back in the black though? Slim chance of that with these 2 reds blocking the path. A little kiss off the red and he's still on the black. Well, now he's not gone far enough for that red into the middle, and I think he's gone too far. He may well have played for the red below and to the left of the pink. So now, well, he should be playing for a bulk colour of the blue. And he's going to finish in that cushion, and that's awkward. He's square to the bulk colours, and he's going to have to pull out this long blue. He's going to have to get good on a red here as well though. That's the other problem. There's not a lot of choice available here when he's finishing this right hand side of the table, so he's went for the cut in the middle and now he's out of line. He's got no shot into the left middle, and he should be running for cover. Now the safety, well, that's a problem. that's a red to keep the break going, but it's giving your opponent an easy start. Break ends in 38, but SemiPro's banking on the fact that Mooncake can't put a run together here. And now he's in between. But the shot to play would be the cut in the blue, but the problem's the pink's in the way. There's also the shot off the brown, but the target area anywhere down the left hand side or the right hand side will give him a shot at a red, and that needs to slow up. He's going to end up nowhere. And I think that's exactly where he's ended up, so he should be running for cover, skimming off down into baulk. But he's played a better shot, managing to find behind the black, but it's an easy run into the bunch of reds. I think it's still much better getting distance up the table, but that will do. But Mooncake will be lucky to have a shot when he gets back to the table. And exactly as I thought, he's got nothing. That's another new name, never seen that name before, Stratos. Now that was a touching ball, so SemiPro could play away from the red as long as he didn't move it, and he's run into the green, which wasn't planned. And Mooncake is short of pace here. That is 3 feet short of where it should have been, trying to get up towards the green. And again, this will entice SemiPro into cutting the red. If he cuts it with the right pace, he'll come across with the black, or he'll have a shot in the pink. Well, there's no way he can hope for a red off this black, so unless he tries to drag it in and leave an awkward shot in the red, no, he's having to run. And nothing now but the safety. But it's a healthy lead for SemiPro, a 42-point lead, and sometime in the next few shots Mooncake's going to have to make something, or this match will be over. You would feel the next chance that SemiPro gets, he's going to score enough points to secure the framing match. And SemiPro has had a rush of blood to the head. He's seen something he wanted to have a go at, and that is just, well, it's doing two things. He's trying to finish the match off by some elaborate shot, but it's left the onus on Mooncake to produce something here, and the reds are all over the place. And where he's finished now, he's going to have to work the cue ball out off this black, and it's pretty straightforward enough pink into the middle though. Got to be on a red. But he has to make a contribution, and if he breaks down here, I reckon it'll be pretty much over. So all the onus is on Mooncake to score, and that's not going to score much. He's in the middle of nowhere again. He's going to have to dig out another good pot, either the cut in the pink or long brown. But he's not giving you the impression that when he's on this visit he's under control yet, and that's a bit better shape now that he's potted the pink. What's the angle he's got? Well, straightforward enough roll through onto the black, or even just a wee bit more gentle in a roll through for the pink into the opposite middle. Got to be the pink. If he runs it up the table, he'll be on the other red into the corner. Well, what's he done here? Is he taking the red into the middle? He's sitting in the middle of nowhere again, and this has got to be delicate. Yeah. Never gave me the impression he was getting himself set at all. You've got to have a clear plan of what you're doing when these reds are like that. And as I said, if he broke down, he's only scored 21. He's still trailing by 22. And this, well, this frame and match should be over, in all honesty. Drop the red into the right middle. Got to be on the pink or the black. Although he's awkward against the side cushion, he might just try and roll it through for the pink. And now he's finally got in the black. Red down and ball, everything wide open. The lead is 30. And that cue ball has gotten away. And SemiPro is going to have to pull out another good pot here to keep this going. That's a good one. And so, a quick look. Well, that's not the one I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the bracket. Well, we'll see the bracket when the result goes through, but the winner of this match, who is very likely now to be SemiPro, is going to be through to play Stub in the next round on the one loss side. So 43 in the table, but Mooncake needs snookers. And that's a good cut. That clinches it. But if the frames go like this when SemiPro plays Stub, then that's Stub's best chance. So that final mistake by Mooncake is the one that cost him. He couldn't put it together. He couldn't really get himself in control of that cue ball because there were points there for the taking, and that final mistake is the one that has cost him the match. Well, everybody needs to step up their game, because sooner or later they're going to bump into Barkers again, whoever it might be, and you've got to keep things well tight against that guy. He's playing with a snooker brain, most certainly. Green goes in. The old bedhead cut to come in the brown. And brown doesn't go in. Break ends in 37. It's frame and match to SemiPro, and that's well done. Now let's see if this internal browser will work for me again. Let's click the link. That worked pretty quickly. Event bracket, and well, that'll update in a second or two. That's the match that gets played tonight between Bedhead and Super Malt. Bedhead will be the strong favourite for that, but as I say, if it goes scrappy and Super Malt uses his head, then he's always got a chance. You've always got a chance in snooker if you play sensible. But the thing is, if you get chances, you have to put points on the board. So that match is going to be tonight. I'll see the first half an hour of it and then go to bed. And now we see that SemiPro is through to play Real Poland Power, Stub. And then of course over on the winner's side we've got the match lined up between Barkers and Moz, and there's plenty of time to get that arranged. So that's what we've got to look forward to. I just hope I can get to see any of them. So that's it, folks. I'm away to see the end of the F1, see the snooker, and get ready for the Celtic game at 4:30. So thanks for your company, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for watching. Keep your distance, stay safe, and we will see you again soon at some point in the future. Good afternoon.